This is On Approach, episode 40. Welcome from the Imperial War Museum, Duxford.
63, climb maintain 13,000. 13,000, 63. 63, contact the New York Center, 128.3.
28-3, just with 63, good day. Hello, Captain.
On Approach is a weekly podcast covering user-submitted topics and news on the SkyLounge.tv. Coming at you live from Duxford. Thank you very much to our hosts at the Imperial War Museum Duxford. We're sitting in front of the beautiful Hawker Hunter. What an incredible place to be. And we'll give you a quick recap of our weekend at RAF Cosford. From my right, we have Mr. Spark Smudge.
Captains.
We have Mr. Kevin, aka Biarzed.
Hello.
We've got Mr. Superthrive.
Hey.
And Mr. B. Crawley, 57.
Hello.
All right, folks, let's get straight to the news. Deadstick. Oh my God, Deadstick. So you guys probably saw the last episode when we talked about Deadstick, the new Bush Flight Simulator. It was absolutely friggin' amazing.
Amazing.
Phenomenal.
I think that it was the first talk we saw this weekend, and pretty much it was all I needed to see this weekend to walk away with, like, the future is bright. And I think that's why we come to these flight sim conventions, is to kind of get a gauge for the future. This was amazing. So, Sparky, I'll let you lead off. What'd you think?
I was blown away. The talk was great, but actually having hands-on experience with it and walking around the hangar, opening the cowling, checking the fuel, it's going to be awesome.
Kevin.
Yeah, I think it looked, the first time I saw the new train simulator, was it Dovetail that released that? I don't know. There's a new train sim that released.
Yeah.
And you can actually walk along the rails and toy around with the train and actually do stuff, interact with stuff, and that's the first time I've seen it with an aircraft.
Yeah.
And quite blew me away with the time that they took to develop this.
Develop it.
Yeah, it started like what, February?
February. Yeah.
That's
Two
absolutely
guys.
insane what they gone through.
Absolutely.
What they worked out.
Two guys starting in February, and they were able to deliver that.
However, the physics engine has been in works for 4 years, he said. So.
Yeah, that's a part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
But it looks truly amazing. It's like a combination of P3D and Need for Speed, except
That's exactly it, bro. That's right.
Also a bit GTA as well.
Yeah. That's what I felt. I was like, this is like GTA, but with
Super.
more realistic, flying.
it's a game. It's a game with realistic physics.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and the ground looked beautiful. The fauna in there, it put what we currently have to shame, didn't it? Really?
It did. So
Yeah.
I got to have some time playing the actual game, the actual current build, and I remember getting completely into the aircraft after walking around the hangar and having to start it up and looking around, and the hotspot interaction is really clean as well. The hotspot interaction, it takes kind of the center of the screen as your point of focus, and then you can interact with knobs and switches with the mouse button. And I got in, and he said, go ahead and taxi out, the runway is going to be off to the left. And I started taxiing forward, and in P3D or FSX, you would start moving almost right away. I mean, there's some resistance, but he said you're really going to have to give it a little to get it to get going. So I did, and the hangar doors were not fully open. They were open enough. And, as I approached the hangar door, he's like, left, not a lot, just a little. And I did, but it wasn't enough, and the wingtip clipped. And the physics of that wingtip clipping was something like I've never experienced before in the simulator we have in front of us today. It was amazing. The grass, like Mr. B says, the grass was just waving in the wind. The trees were incredible. The scenery was amazing. On the scenery, he discussed his approach for the scenery being this imaginary land, right?
Yes.
He didn't want to go with recreating real world. And what do you guys think about that?
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because then you can stretch your imagination. You're not going to have people say, "Well, that's in the wrong place."
You've no
That's
constraints,
not
have
right.
you? It's
Right.
the world. It's like Bob Ross.
Yeah.
The world is
Put
what you
another
want
pretty
it to
little
be.
tree here.
Yeah.
Fantasy world.
Yeah, I mean, I had some feedback on that too, and I said, look, ultimately, I think if he tried to do the real world, as we have already kind of in P3D and other platforms, I think it would almost be ruined by the purists, by the folks that are going to come in and say this tree is not really there and it's incorrect, and the angle of this runway isn't incorrect, and this taxiway isn't really this wide. And I honestly would just love to be immersed in his imaginary world that he makes up by painting like Bob Ross, like you said. I mean, I think it's just going to be a better experience overall.
Absolutely.
Keep it a fictional training / playground / challenge.
A playground.
Approach.
A playground. Speaking of playground, Mr. Wicker was able to log his first crash. Congratulations, Mr. Wicker! You took a proud photograph in front of a landing that he did, where he came down in the trees, and the plane hit every part of the tree on the way down until it landed upside down, and then he was able to get out of the plane and walk around it. Mind-blowing. Again, not something that we have in front of us today. Like, and absolutely incredible.
Wasn't he proud?
Yeah, he was very proud.
He stood in that, chest pumped.
Yeah, and that's exactly the market for it, right? Like, make it challenging, make it realistic. There's going to be a financial component to it. Not so much as far as like DLC goes and stuff like that, but like a virtual game.
You'll be able to update with monies earned in game.
Changing out bigger tires. Custom colors, custom liveries, custom accessories. You want the landing light pod on the wing, or do you want the landing light pod mounted under the wing? I mean, there are many options, and we're really excited to see how that's going to develop. And it's going to make Cub Club amazing.
If you get multiplayer
if multiplayer becomes a
no, it's okay.
And multiplayer as well. If multiplayer becomes a part of this, it can very well be an incredible future for Cub Club, which is something we do every week.
This absolutely looks like the new Cub Club
It
platform.
does.
I mean, it's so right now for Cub Club, right? It's primarily P3D based, although we have had X-planers fly with us when we were using FS Cloud. But Cub Club requires a plane fast enough, which typically requires an upgrade of your plane to the flight replicas, Super Cub or the Ultra Cub, to kind of keep up with the pack, if you will. If we were to all settle on a single platform like this, that gives us a Piper Cub with steady speeds, I mean, that's just awesome. That's phenomenal. Definitely a bright future.
Two thumbs up for Deadstick.
Oh man, dude. Oh my God, 2 thumbs up for Deadstick for sure. FSW add-ons. Did you guys have a peek at the add-on? Did you have some time in the add-on?
I didn't have any time in the add-on.
Okay, so
I did see it.
Bluesky, creators of add-on packs for DCS, have now pretty much left that platform. I'm not sure if it was an official statement, but he did say it's why they're not. Oh, listen, sirens. Something we've never had here before. So
get to the plane.
Get to the plane.
I'll take that one.
There's a Eurofighter over here on our right,
I'll
which
take
is
the Spit.
incredible.
I take the Eurofighter.
The Dunkirk Spitfire is behind us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. So the on Warbirds, a P40 is coming to Flight Sim World.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had some time in it and I loved it. The sounds were amazing. It felt incredible in the FSW world. That's exciting to see new and fresh types of planes coming in. What do you guys think about Warbirds?
I want more.
You want
Maybe
more?
not more Warbirds, but I want more planes coming in. Dovetail. I mean, these Blue Sky.
Yeah, Blue Sky.
They've jumped on board. Where's Aerosoft? Where's A2A? Where's everyone else? Why aren't they supporting this platform yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take people like Blue Sky to kind of jump in and lead that way, right? I mean, now we have a new player in the game of military combat aircraft. Who's in that game on the P3D side?
Don't get me wrong, the planes they have in there built in are good.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see more.
This is chomping at the bit in Milvis territory. This is chomping at the bit in A2A territory. And now we have this new dev coming in with, oh yeah, by the way, here's a P40.
Yeah.
And it looked incredible. The textures were amazing.
Yeah.
Interior wasn't yet completed, but the outside views were amazing. And as far as the platform goes, Flight Sim World is developed more and more and more.
Did Wicker manage to crash that one?
No, he didn't get any
dear.
airtime. He can crash a couple all day. They wouldn't let him crash a P-40. Definitely not. But it's exciting to see more add-ons coming, more add-on aircraft coming for Flight Sim World, because as a platform, I love it.
Yeah,
I really do. I think
absolutely,
the performance has greatly increased over the past few months.
Yeah.
Get it better and better.
And the visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's no need for me for any kind of a PTA tool or anything like that with the color tones that they were able to bring out in Flight Sim World.
I think the turning point for it was True Sky. I think that really livened it up.
And they've improved True Sky as well. They've got rid of that spinny thing now. Very rarely you see that now. The sky looks beautiful. I flew for nearly 4 hours in it the other day.
Yeah, but it still
Absolutely
needs
brilliant.
dynamic real-time weather.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
These things,
They know and they mentioned that.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
on the
definitely on the roadmap.
So I think True Sky was a good step forward, but there's going to be a lot of step forwards like this
Yes.
in upcoming versions.
Yeah,
And that's where the game will change.
Yeah.
So when talking to the guys at Bluesky, he did say one thing that was very, very interesting. He said, here's the thing. We don't want to be known as the military aircraft people. And that's a hint right there.
Yeah.
Right? He's basically saying, like, we're not only going to make military aircraft.
No.
So there's more to that
There's
we're
more
going
coming.
to see in the future, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
Also, some of the other things that, let's talk about the Flight Sim World presentation.
I'm just looking at this de Havilland in front of me, thinking it's going to shoot me.
It looks happy. Come on.
That's a happy plane. Don't
That's
worry.
a happy plane. The Flight Sim World presentation was
Painful.
It was painful.
Yeah.
I think that's the most polite
I think it was alright. I needed a nap.
description.
So I'm happy for
I
it.
did have a nap.
Yeah, I did. I had several.
You know, the number of people that got up and left,
Yeah.
it was sad.
And the front row.
The video that they played for the P-40 was absolutely beautiful, and yet received not one single clap or applause.
Yeah.
No.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
I personally, this is personal thoughts, I think it had a lot to do with the actual presentation, the actual presenter.
Yeah.
Nothing against Mr. Hood on a personal level, but I do think that at an event like this, what we need is energy.
What we
preparation.
used to call that in my field was death by PowerPoint.
That's PowerPoint.
That's true.
That's what we used to call that type of presentation.
TED Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, TED Talk could be interesting.
Yeah.
They can definitely be interesting. That was on a whole
But
new level.
It seemed like he had scribbled down his presentation
Well,
the
he
night
said it.
before.
He said it. He
Oh,
said that
okay.
he did the presentation the
Well,
before. So.
I don't think you should
It
do
didn't
that.
do justice to the platform.
No.
No, because the booth was full of excitement.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The platform is full of excitement.
Yeah.
They've got communities that have spawned up. FSW Break, shout out.
Yeah.
They've got communities that have spawned up around this product already.
Yeah.
And here's this self-proclaimed developer coming off kind of as the business side of things. I'm still confused, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he's kind of walking around with this low tone, more applicable for, like Spark says, a TED Talk
Yeah.
than an exciting presentation about here's what's new, guys.
Yeah.
So like Sparky says, I think it was the overall tone of the presentation was more applicable to a TED Talk, where it was very soothing and calm and kind of, I don't know.
Monotone.
Monotone. It wasn't hype. It wasn't excitement. The excitement that we need to say, guys, here's the cool stuff coming in the next whatever. And I think part of it was like, there was a defensive stance to it. More sirens, this is awesome. There was a defensive stance to it. Defensive about giving dates, defensive about what's coming.
About what's been said as well.
Defensive about previous statements, defensive about why they're doing things the way they are, defensive about whether they're business or development. I mean, it was just very defensive, period.
Yeah.
And I think it was the perfect platform for them to really build hype, and they missed the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They missed the mark. The booth, great excitement at the booth.
Yeah.
Great vibe at the booth. I think they need to kind of circle around for their next presentation. Maybe even take a look at some of the other presentations and see where they need to refine things a little.
Yeah.
And look at these events like a great chance to connect with the community, not so much necessarily answer questions. Right? They're there with a bullhorn. They're not necessarily there to answer everyone's question.
Yeah.
Missed the mark on that presentation, but better luck next year. Chaseplane, FSFX Packages. This is where you get to stay quiet and we get to say whatever we want. Chaseplane, a couple of great announcements. Number one.
Well, actually, while you do this, let me move the luggage back here so you can talk.
Yeah.
So number one, the replay system. Absolutely amazing replay system that's coming. We've all kind of suffered the loss of the whole FS recorder thing, and we're finally getting a replay system that is going to be useful for us. Not only for the visual artists out there that want to do recordings, but also for those that want to study their landings and study their approaches and study their moves in an aircraft. It's been a long time coming, and it's great to see that.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that slow-mo.
The slow-mo.
Can't
Slow-mo
wait
needs to be a
start
button.
Playing with that.
Yeah.
It is a button.
I
There we
find
go.
I find it quite embarrassing because Kevin sat here, but on the day, that was the presentation of the day.
Absolutely.
That was the presentation.
I know we're biased.
That was definitely the
but
presentation.
it was the best presentation.
I think leave that to the audience, guys. I'm
That was the
leave
presentation
a
of the day.
feedback. It's not just because I'm here. I'm here as Kevin. I'm not here as
Yeah.
FSFX. And I'm curious to know what you thought about the presentation and the content of it. So far, the feedback that I've received is very good, but that's the feedback that I received. I want to, you guys be honest.
I think one of the big
Hot
things,
corners.
one of the big,
Oh.
other than hot corners, one
Yeah.
of the big things is the ability to use it offline.
Yes,
That
the
improvement that's
offline
coming,
mode.
that is just going to transform it for a lot of people.
Well, with us
Right.
teasing Sparky so much about almost a month of downtime, I mean that realistically speaking, that was a month of not being able to use a product
Yes.
that he bought,
Yeah.
that he purchased,
Yeah.
and that's got to be tough.
It was
It's
tough.
got to be tough because
Yeah.
Chaseplane has become one of the must-have products.
Oh yeah,
So, offline mode, we are also getting hot corners. If you are familiar with the Mac OS system, you're familiar with hot corners. You move the mouse to a certain corner or side, which is really cool. They're adding in sides as well. You can have multiple actions assigned to that. So, for example, cinematic mode can begin with as simple as you moving the mouse to the far left corner. Would you like to go to an outside shot of a bomb bay door at a specific time in your show? No problem. Boom. Without a menu popping up on screen, you can open that bomb bay door because you'll have that lower left corner bound to the key that goes and opens that door. So hot corners are really exciting from a production standpoint.
FMC to the bottom.
FMC to the bottom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah.
flying to 7.3 and you're always checking the FMC and really nowhere else. Boop, move that mouse, it goes straight there.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Again, game changer. The offline mode, hot corners, the replay system. Also from FSFX Packages, the immersion package for the 747 is finally coming. So the Queen will be complete. We've got FS2 crew now for it, and we've got the immersion package inbound for it as well. So
And we've got the virtual avionics for it.
and virtual avionics has already been updated. I need to pick that up, by the way. That's going to let you kind of use an FMC on an iPad.
Yes.
It looks absolutely stunning. I'm not an Airbus guy, but that makes me want
And
to
a
play.
professional pilot, aren't you?
That I am.
You sound a little like Pet.
Yeah.
I guess it's something in the Norwegian coffee.
It's the visuals.
That might lure me over to Airbus.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely stunning. It's
The lighting that we saw in the last video teaser that they released, I mean, it's just coming together as
Little
an
vents
incredible
opening for
aircraft.
cooling the instrument panels.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very exciting. So
mind blown.
we've got that inbound. There's no exact date on that one, but soon.
They say soon. They say soon.
TFDi's true glass.
Yes.
True glass. So rain on the windshields affected by wind, affected by wind speeds, affected by wipers.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Only for the 717
Currently. Yeah.
currently. However, a kit being made available to developers on contact. So developers, please make contact.
Yes.
Find out what it takes to get that technology in your planes. I think the more developers they are able to get on board with this, the better it's going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those details that you can really easily come to appreciate.
And it just makes the immersion when coming out of cloud
Yeah.
layers and you get that sprinkle on the window.
And it stays on the windows too.
It just doesn't fade. It doesn't fade away.
It continuously
It
kind of
stays
moves
there.
off.
So developers,
Amazing.
no need to reinvent the wheel. Just hop on board and let us have raindrops on all your planes.
I want to see more things like more business deals like that happen.
Yeah.
I think that's what the industry needs. Instead of everyone saying, "Well, we'll just build it ourselves." No, like work together. Like figure out who's doing something the best, and work together with them. Reach out, make some contacts, make some connections. Honestly, I made a suggestion this afternoon to Thin Air, really. But I think that it'd be cool if TFDi Designs basically said, "Hey, guess what? You know, Coronado, we're going to work with you to put it into one of your planes with no licensing fees. Let's get it into your newest release. Let's work together and get it in there. Let your customers speak for what they think."
Yeah.
Same with Alabeo.
Yeah.
Same with A2A. Same with everybody. Just work it in somehow and see if that works, because the customers, the consumers will speak.
Yeah.
The consumers will say, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Please make it happen." True Glass is absolutely
Beautiful.
amazing, and they've been able to do it in the current build of P3D, which is
Amazing.
something that was said to be impossible. Yeah,
And it even evaporates off when it stops raining.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a great weekend here at RAF Cosford and at
Duxford.
IWN Duxford. Make sure, please, to check out both museums.
Fantastic museums.
Absolutely. This
Well
is
worth
amazing.
a visit, even if it's a vacation.
The trip has been incredible. We'll release some photographs and some video footage as well at another point in time, kind of wrapping up our trip here as hosts, meeting the whole crew and sitting down.
We're all together in one
place.
hangar.
For the first time.
It's absolutely a game-changing experience, and a huge thank you to the folks here at the museum for letting us utilize this space to record this podcast for you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Sky 5.
Sky 5.
Hey, Sky 5.
Sky
In person! Sky 5.
Contact the New York Center 128.